Hey everyone, it's Binary Rose, and here is the first of many Rose updates. And I'm going to call it Rose updates because both of the series have Rose in their name, and I'm going to be working on both of them at the same time. So first up is Cavern Rose. This one is brand new. I spent a great deal of time working on it, writing the script, getting a ton of voice actors to help me out with this one. So it takes place in this beautifully eerie underground world in which these cavern roses, which the main character, Andrea, Brianna, and Doro, set on an adventure to harvest these cavern roses, which are essential to their survival. And so there are a lot of secrets within this world. I don't share them all within the first season. I kind of want there to be this air of mystery, but some things do get explained enough, so you're not completely lost. But yeah, it's very fun. I hope to eventually get this up and running. I haven't started pre-production yet, but as soon as I get all of the lines and compose the music, I also have someone else helping me with the music composition. Once we get that done, I'll begin pre-production, of course, looking for, audio assets. I want to make sure they're good quality, or if not, I can try to make my own. But because I don't have a sound studio or some sort of studio to make custom sound effects, I'll have to improvise. So this whole thing is a learning process. This is the first time I've done a project on a more professional scale because normally I would just write a chapter after and work on it, start drawing and working on a chapter as I am writing new ones. And so things kind of got lost. I'll explain a little bit when I talk about the Binary Rose reboots. But the problem is that it got a little bit too chaotic. It's as if it didn't know where it was heading or what it wanted to be or what was the message behind it. So I sat down, I decided to focus on a one concisive story. Cavern Rose. I mean, it's not conclusive, but it tells a story. It's not left up in the air like, okay, or I'm not doing things as I go along. Like, it's planned out as a complete season. And I can't wait to get started with it. And as you can see, the Cavern Rose pretty much repurposed the characters I set up in Binary Rose universe, the original. So you have Andrea and Brianna, who are supposed to be in their own story together, but that got canceled. You never saw that one. But Doro, he was actually Euron, but I switched his character around. So you see plenty of other characters. You also have Afaria. He was that detective, but he's in this series as the antagonist again. And you also have brand new characters, actually. So it's not just complete repurposing of characters. There's brand new characters. But I can't wait to get started with this one. It's going to be for those people who don't necessarily like the social political stuff on the channel. You have this one that's purely story driven. So if you like that, you like my writing, this is the story for you. And I can't wait to get started with this. And like I said, as soon as I get the bare minimum requirements to get started with the pre-production, I'll get started on it right away. There are only 9 chapters. Originally 7, but I added 2 more to flesh out certain characters and kind of give the story a bit more dimension in a way, because you got these other characters elsewhere who have a story of their own, but as a whole it tells a complete story. And so the series people know me for, Binary Rose, I'm bringing it back. It was canceled because it was getting a little too ambitious. It felt like as if it didn't have an identity, because it's like the Binary Rose story was trying to tell too much for its, for what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be this social political story, but it was just going all over the place. You had like Wingless Butterfly that was coming out, and although not connected to the Binary Rose characters, but it was still in that universe. And then there were more characters, I guess, featured later on. And then it just got to a point where I just sat down and thought, wait a minute, how am I going to cover all this? Because I have to pay the voice actors. I can't expect people to do this for free. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, wow. That's going to be a lot. And then another problem was that since the full season of these stories were not written, I was kind of making it up as I'll go along. I just kind of put myself into a corner, because what if I come up with something later on this season that I wish I could have foreshadowed much sooner? I mean, it's cool to have stuff in your head, but you got to have it written down. And so that would have brought up some continuity errors. Yeah, it wasn't written well. It wasn't planned out well, actually. And so this reboot is also done in the same way as Cavern Rose. I have a complete season written out and ready to go. This first season of the Binary Rose reboot will only have 8 chapters, and it sticks to the core themes and motives of Binary Rose. So you have the social political topics, and you also have a bit of action adventure going on. But of course, it's such a smaller scale that each chapter you watch will be self-contained. Each chapter features a very different planet, but still featuring the same 3 characters: James, Spots, and Rose, as you can see here. So it's a much more focused Binary Rose. You're not switching characters or going to, vastly different plots. It's much more focused. So I think that will work to its strength, because now as you listen to these characters, I guess, debate on certain topics, you kind of get to understand them a lot faster. And it fits well within what's going on here, because so basically they owe money to a loan shark, Samuel, and they must travel on these planets to, I guess, collect tradable items to sell to, I guess, pay off their debt. And so that gives an excuse for them to go on these trips, and as they're making their way to these targets, they can have their debates because it takes a minute for them to drive to the location. So it works as a great vehicle to drive the main, I guess, attraction to Binary Rose, which is the social political stuff. And I found ways to make it much more, I guess, engaging, because not only are they talking social political stuff, it's done in a way where you have 3 parties present. You have James, then you have Rose. Those are the 2 who usually are butting heads on the topic. But then you have Spot being this neutral party. He kind of checks both of them whenever they step out of line or speak something that's factually incorrect. So he stays and he's in there to correct both of them. And so they kind of, all 3 of them play off each other, and then you also get to understand the character behind them. So they're not just these talking pieces for these political topics; they also are characters of their own, and you get to see this dynamic between all 3 of them. And then I guess by the end, they're kind of like this traveling family, which is really cool. So this one is a lot more planned out. Of course, the different topics that will be talked about range from race, LGBT, cancel culture, fat acceptance. What else? Oh, Big Pharma. That's ought to be interesting. So you get to hear multiple sides on these topics, and basically the main goal this time is to kind of increase the understanding between multiple sides, because there's a lot of social political divide going on. So with this, I hope I can kind of humanize the other side, because you might see a bit of yourself in one of the characters and say, yeah, I agree with that person, but I don't agree with that one. And just hearing these two characters speak uninterrupted, you can hear the other side. Because in a real live debate between two parties, especially like on YouTube, they often cut each other off. Or there's always this level of hostility between the two parties. That's not always the case, but you can go in each, I guess, unofficial debates between two people, and you can see the hostility is there. So with these two characters, they're pretty much brothers, actually. Yeah, I know. They've been rewritten as brothers, so it kind of makes sense, or it kind of gives me this loophole to voice both of them. I'm not doing this. Oh, they're just different versions of themselves. No, it's none of that going on. They're just brothers having a debate, and yeah, so there's, you can kind of see it as a sibling rivalry. And by the end of this, you can kind of see that at the end of the day, they still care for each other, even if they disagree. And hopefully people get that vibe and I guess carry that with them in life. And so that's the goal with Binary Rose reboots. And so there you have it. Binary Rose reboots and Cavern Rose. I will get started on these as soon as possible. Hopefully next month I will have a lot more to talk about. And stay tuned on my Twitter account because I'll be drawing and illustrating more cover art. Because basically these, pretty much the first chapters of both of them being creatively interpreted to avoid spoilers. And so, yeah. This is just an update to let you know that I've begun taking this seriously and I want to get it going. Not that I haven't already or before now, but pre-production will be underway pretty soon. And I will announce on Twitter when that happens. So, I will see you all next month. Thanks for watching and take care.